basically just talk about where you come from and who's Cavie.
I'm Cavie. Once again, like I said, I come from Compton, California. I grew up on the south side of Compton, California, man, right up the street from Eazy-E, around the corner from DJ Train. You know, a few blocks from MC Ren, all of the main key players in N.W.A. At the time when I was a young cat, you know, I got changed because they keep saying that I did it at 12, but it was really 14. They say on my interview, the other interview, that I was 12, but I was 14 when I saw these guys. And, you know, to be able to see these guys making the moves that they're making, like, you know, I was on the block doing wrong, you know, selling dope, doing all the wrong stuff, you know, gang banging, shooting at people and doing all the wrong things, and nothing to do with all that energy I had. And I would always see my man them go in the studio. They was like, one day they just called me in, like, yo, come on, man, this little dude bad. Like, I was a little bad dude. They like, okay, come on here, let's just hang with us. And I started hanging out, and I kind of got bit by the bug. I started feeling it, like, I started really liking not hanging out and being able to be in the studio. And once I understood what they were doing at the time, like I said, it wasn't Eazy-E. It was, you know, he was just Eric. He was my big homie. Eric Train was the homie. You know, and it was just like, you know, that's what it was. So we were witnessing the genesis of this gangster rap. You know, the whole thing. We were watching it come, you know, watching it be made. You know, what people to this day consider gangster rap or the movement, the whole thing. Grab your nuts, fuck the police. You know, I was just able to see all that, and that, you know, that's what drew me into it. You know, just the inspiration, being able to make that dough without getting caught by the po-po. You dig?
I dig. I can't do the West Coast thing, but I could dig.
Yeah, that's what's happening. Yeah. So, we say a word out here on West Coast. We say aha. Now you can say chair. If everything is cool, is good, you might hear me say chair. It's chair, like yeah, but yeah with a C. It's chair. You know,
so not like word. What you're sitting on. So not like what you're sitting on. It's like chair.
Yeah, like chair. Like yeah with a little swag to it. Just chair. You dig?
Yeah.
Chair.
I'm gonna pick up on this soon. You know, give me time. When you reach my age, you understand. You know, a sister getting old in the game, so she gotta re-up on her languages.
Yeah, that's what's up.
So, but what made you, like, you know, around the time when we young, you are cautious to trust older people. What made you place, like, trust in Eric at the time? Like, what made you, all right, let me check him out?
Truthfully, like I say, my pops was in the penitentiary. You know, my mom was on drugs. I was a kid that just roamed the neighborhood, and this dude would help us, you know, do little things to get money for school clothes and get lunch money, you know, just any little, you know, little things like that he started doing for us. This even before the rap, you know, just helping out kids in the neighborhood. So he always did that, you know, as far as Eazy. And that was one of my own personal experiences and relationships with him that I you know had. And then Train was another guy. DJ Train is the main guy who pulled me in. You know, he once again I always tell people he died in a fire. But he saved my life, and he went out trying to save someone else's life. He thought his son was in the house, he went in the fire, But, you know, looking up to someone like Eric, you know, giving us that, he wasn't even trying to be a mentor. I think he was just doing it from his heart, being cool, being who he was, like seeing little bad kids. He had some extra change on him. Whether he was selling dope, however he was getting his paper, he was having paper back then, and, you know, he still looked out. If he was selling drugs, he was doing good things with the money. He was helping out his neighborhood and trying to get people, you know, to do the right thing, you know. So
I definitely feel on that one. That's what's up, like how they see somebody that's like I'm going to touch on this later because I want to ask you this later on, but how they see somebody that they know they have a potential to do better, so they reached out and help that person. I definitely want to touch on that because you're basically a testament of that. So that's definitely what's up, you know, rest in peace to Eazy-E for that, because I didn't even know that about him. So that's something new that I know about him that nobody talked about on the TV screen.
Yeah, him and DJ Train. Like, a lot of people didn't know Train, but Train was a big part of it. Train helped Dr. Dre make a lot of those records. He you know, he didn't actually make the record, but he helped pick a lot of the ideas that formed some of those great N.W.A. records. And if you look on his albums, they always give thanks to God and then Train first, because Train was a vital part of DOC's career, JJ Fad, Eazy-E, and N.W.A. He was a part of all that, you know. and he's, a part of my career to this day. That's why people, you're gone and you're forgotten. That's why Eazy-E lives on through me. DJ Train lives on through me because I can talk about him while other people are worrying about. And it's no disrespect, but right now, a lot of these cats only think about Waka Flocka or Wiz Khalifa or who's ever popping right now. They don't pay homage to what paved the way for cats to be able to smoke weed and grab their nuts and talk shit. KRS-Ones, Eazy-E's, these type of guys did that, So.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, we tend to forget, maybe because we just came for it so far. We only look back to the decade before, and for us it would be 2000.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you'll look by people like my age. You'll look back like, oh, yeah, Lil Jon, that's who I grew up with. But then think about who Lil Jon grew up with and who that person grew up with. So.
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean by it. Like, you may think right now, not you, but one may think even in New York and Atlanta, wherever, like, oh, well, we only know Papoose, or we may only know this guy in New York right now, or even someone that may say just Jay-Z, but Jay-Z looked up to Big Daddy Kane and Heavy D and cats like that. So did Tupac. Tupac looked up to Ice Cube, and I try and tell people like that right now, because Tupac is dead, they always make him like he was just the best ever. But Tupac was good, but Tupac looked up to Ice Cube, and people almost don't acknowledge Ice Cube anymore. It's like almost like even Heavy D, you acknowledge a person once they pass on, but while they're here, you don't celebrate their great things that they did. And Ice Cube is like once again one of the greats. I used to see Tupac personally, like just pay so much homage to Ice Cube. Like, man, you made it where I can talk this shit and grab my nuts and say fuck the police and be the Tupac that I am because of someone like you. But, if you ask a young person nowadays, they're like, oh, Ice Cube, he's old. He shouldn't rap anymore. He's like, we kill our own legacy that way. Hip-hop, everybody in hip-hop, East Coast or West Coast, everyone needs to know that you tend to say, oh, that guy's old. He's in his 30s. He's in his 40s, or he's an old rapper. But hip-hop, it expands. The age group in hip-hop expands. So you can't say a person is old. I think there definitely needs to be jerking. There needs to be chicken noodle soup. They need to be all that young stuff, and there needs to be cats like Cool G Rap and Big Daddy Kane and older West Coast cats, Above the Law, all these cats still making records. And I call it a thing called rap your age. Like, the older cats shouldn't be trying to Dougie or trying to do any of that, because let the young kids make that up. They need that. But we need to still, as older cats rapping, if you're in your 30s and you're rapping, you need to rap your age and talk some knowledge to some of these kids. And that's something that myself and CeeLo and Gipp and all these guys talk about. Even with this Goodie Mob album that's going to be coming real soon, you'll hear a lot of knowledge and soul food and content, not disposable hip-hop that you hear one week you're hot, next week, because, in a few years, someone's hot and you don't even think about them like years later. We kill our own careers with that way, because they make it where like, oh, he's old, no one's checking for him. He was hot last year, but now he's done. Well, how is this man why are you making a career for yourself that's only going to last so long? You should be able to, this is not the NBA or NFL. Your legs don't get bad at hip-hop. You're not going to, you get older, but as long as you can rap, as long as you can still rap and sing, you can continue to do shows in 30s, 40s, 50s, well into, you can still go see Frankie Beverly and Maze do a concert. You can still go see, a lot of these people that I'm talking about go do concerts. If whoever, like, if that's an older group, you would go still see Prince right now. Michael was here. You would still go see Michael.
You got a good point with that.
You don't have an age group. If you hear Aretha Franklin saying, like, oh, she's old, Mary J., everybody else is going to pay homage, and like, she's blowing. You're not going to say, oh, Sade's in her 50s. She's old. Madonna's 50. Nobody wants to hear Madonna anymore. If Madonna makes a record and it's jamming, you better believe people are going to dance to it or sing along with it. Look at Cher. It's like, but hip-hop does that. We do that to each other. And, like, I look at hip-hop, there's guys like Busta. Busta's well in his 40s, still on songs with Chris Brown, killing it. Killing it. Look at me now. He's like fucking well in his 40s, man. Everybody knows that. You know what I mean? And, so you can't put an age bracket on hip-hop.
And then you also think about, too, hip-hop and then R&B. Like, R. Kelly will probably be, like, the person that I can relate to as far as, like, every decade he had a hit.
Yeah.
Since he's been out the 80s, 90s, 2000s, and even now, like, since he's gotten older, he's gotten the whole, like, the grown, I guess you would say, relate to his age instead of the young.
Yes.
So I guess I can see the resemblance as far as like as you get older, relate to the people that you hit, and as they get older too. Like don't reach out to like if you 50, don't reach out to the teens. It's not going to be relevant.
Yeah, exactly.
So definitely feel you on that one. Well, speaking of reaching into the past, I've seen you had your own crew called Torture Chamber, which had a #1 hit in '93 called Wicked. So how was that partnering with Ice Cube and the Red Hot Chili Peppers? So that's one genre and another genre. Like, how did that work out?
It's almost like, that was younger in my career, and I was part of a crew called the Torture Chamber. It was a crew. We were kind of like the Dungeon Family, a West Coast version of Outkast, and that whole Dungeon Family. We was producers, rappers, all those one family in Compton. The Torture Chamber, man, and we landed a few placements back then. MC Ren, Cam, a few placements with Ice Cube and the Red Hot Chili Peppers. That was Ice Cube's biggest record to this date, called Wicked. That was a great thing. Once again, we'd all start doing beats. I was still in a crew at the time. I wasn't solo doing my own thing like I am now, but, it was just another opportunity that happened, man. And I'll share this story with you just to show people out there how great things can happen. That song that we're talking about, Wicked, had a guy on the hook singing Wicked, Wicked. Is a Jamaican guy named Don Jaguar. Don Jaguar is no longer doing music, but he took his check that Ice Cube paid him for doing that chorus. I think he got $3 grand for doing that chorus, and he went and opened up. This was back in '93, '94. He opened up a hot dog stand with that. And him opening up that hot dog stand back in '94, he still has that stand. That stand is now turned into 2 or 3 restaurants, which he runs here in L.A., and that was all off of what he did working with Ice Cube, like getting that check. So you look at different things that happen in life, and I'm sharing this with people out there that want to look up and be like, yo, what did I do, or how can I do something that will, stick even if my music doesn't work. He had a plan and a vision. He knew from there. He's like, yo, if I do this now, I'm gonna be good. Like, I'm gonna invest this money now so that things will be straight for me in the future. He hasn't really done any more music, but he's successful still off that one opportunity. He invested. He never looked back. So that was a good thing right there. It all still comes from that record. And I remember him sitting there in shock, like we all were, like, yo, Q pull out a checkbook on you, like, how much you want? And everybody's like looking around, like, how much do you want? Like, like, what do you want? He just writes this check, and he like starts writing people checks with him, like looking like, whoa, this is real right here. Ice Cube writing us checks. This is real. And that, the rest was history. The same with the Ice Cube and Red Hot Chili Pepper song. In my career, throughout my career, I've been doing things first, and I feel blessed to have say that. But like, even back then, being able to be one of the first hip hop crews to work with like a rock, group or whatever, work with the Chili Peppers and mix that hip hop with that sound. That was before Limp Bizkit and all that back then, if you remember. And all the way up until now, which I just did last year, I did Macy Gray's song "Kissed It," which had Slash from Guns N' Roses on the song. So that was another collaboration in my career that's like a big accolade for me. Like, to be one of the only hip hop producers to work with Slash from Guns N' Roses is a big thing,
Yeah, because one thing I noticed with you, since you kind of grew up in the game, like as you're talking, you have a lot of knowledge. It's not only talk about music, you're talking about like the philosophy and the business mind of it. Like the key word you said was investing. Yeah. And the partnering up, like when you reach out to different people, in a business sense, that's exposing an audience that probably would not have listened to you before.
Yes.
So definitely, like I said, that's a good one, especially you grew up with. So from rapping, you just decided to focus more on producing?
Well, I'll share that true. If you read my resume or anything, you see I ended up doing a deal with Blackground Records back in '99 to maybe like late 2003 or something like that after Aaliyah passed. But, doing that, like, I don't know, that was a whole other thing to me, like just being a part of a label, and then you get like, I don't want to steer away from the question, so if you want to ask me again, because I know I'm be talking, so if you want me to be specific. Would you like me to be specific on